And in today's lecture, we plan to cover, things related to, the candidate actions that could be taken on a job posting that has been posted by a specific recruiter. So a candidate should be able to, apply for a specific job, should be able to see what all job postings he or she has applied for. And on similar grounds, a recruiter should be able to mark an application, with the different statuses like shortlisted, rejected, etc. Right, depending upon the types of statuses that you may want to have. And for that to happen, we have created a new table called job application. And the number of attributes that we have in this table are kind of very limited. We have ID that is created by the database itself and is an auto incremented ID. Then we have the status, which is also based on an enum here. We have only three statuses. One is pending, accepted, and rejected. So whenever an application is submitted, by default, it should be in the pending state. And then based on the recruiter action, it could be changed to accepted or rejected. For now, we have these limited options available for marking application status or an update. But depending upon the requirements, one can have as many statuses as they might want to. In addition to that, we just have metadata available, created at and updated at, that when this row was created and updated. Whereas we have two foreign key columns here in this table. One that is going to map this application with a specific job posting that was created by a recruiter, whereas the another one is going to be that who has created this application. So that this row should be able to map to a specific candidate or a user as well, right? That who has actually created this application. All right. Now, in order to create this table, okay, firstly, let us try to resolve this error. Again, it is the repository thing. So let us navigate to the repository here, and let's go to job application. Okay, not this, job application, and here job application repository equals to job portal data source dot get repository and job application. And at the end, I am going to export this as well, job application repository. Once I do that, I should be able to resolve this conflict by saying job application repository. Still getting an error. Okay, it is saying job posting repository is also required. So I would take job posting repository as well. Fine, great. Now I would go to application. Since the synchronize is true here, I'll make sure no other is marked as true. Yep. And in the data source, I would, okay, this is already true. Fine. So now I am going to run this application. Again, we got an error saying index contains column that is missing in the entity, that is job posting ID. So looking at the table definition, that is job posting ID, it is saying that job posting ID does not exist. Since user ID is also a foreign key, I could use this user instead of user ID. And once I do that and see, okay, so now I should be able to see the table being created in the database as well. Let me see, and yeah, so here we have gotten this new table called job applications. And if I go to the structure, here we could see a unique index being created on two columns, job posting ID and user ID. That means a single user cannot apply to a single job posting or a specific job posting more than once. So that is why this index was needed, that one user can only apply to a job posting once. All right, that's fine. Now, Now, looking at the job application controller, we have three controllers implemented here. One is that the candidate should be able to apply for a job. Second is the candidate should be able to view a list of all the applications that he or she has made in the past. Third is based on a recruiter section, which should be able to change or update the status of a specific job application. So apply for a job, if you take a look at it, it requires a job posting ID. And once the job posting ID is given, the application would be created with that specific job posting ID, with that specific user ID. Uh, all right. And at the end, what is going to happen is the number of applicants on that particular job posting would be incremented by them as and when a new application is submitted or a job, right? Then get all job applications, which is again based on the same concept that we have used in the previous lecture, pagination. So we have used page size and page number here in order to filter down the entries that we wish to show or display on the students or not the student, the candidates dashboard. Okay. Similarly, we have update application status where a recruiter will be able to mark a specific application with a given status. And we have only three statuses available. By default, every job application goes into the status of pending, but a recruiter can mark it, shortlisted and rejected, I guess. Looking at, the enums, we have, accepted and rejected. These two things. All right, so let's do one thing. Let's quickly go to the job application router and let's add these endpoints. So this dot router dot. Firstly, I wish to create a new job application. So let me first look at the base router is application itself. So I would leave it, with the base route itself, and I would say this dot job application controller dot apply for a job. So this is going to create a new application. That's fair. And another thing that I want to have is the authentication middleware. So I would include it here as well, user auth. And here I am going to create a new variable called auth, which is going to get this verify JWT function. And I'm going to include it here, this dot auth. Now I am going to copy this and would paste it two more times because I have two more endpoints available. The next is for get all job applications. So here I am going to just make it get. Nothing is going to be changed. And the last thing I am going to have is update application status. So I would simply make it put. That's all. So for the same base route, we are going to have all the routes being implemented here. Okay. So that's fine. Now, let us take a look at job application controller and see what all things we need to provide. Okay, job posting ID is something that we need to provide. But wait, we have not created a user with the role candidate so far. So firstly, we will have to create a user with the candidate in order to work out with these routes. So for that, what I'm going to do is I am going to go to the Postman. And since I had this sign up, so I would simply rename it to saying sign up for a recruiter. And I am going to duplicate this request. And I'm going to rename it to candidate. Candidate. But we won't be requiring these many things. So maybe what will I do is I will have to get all these things, current sector experience. I will just take the mandatory things and would leave out the optional ones. So current sector, I would say IT. This is one of the enums. Then experience. I think this was supposed to be defined in months, so I would say 20 months. Like it could be anything else as well. Qualification, I would say graduate. This was one of the enums as well. Brief intro, you would say, a full stack developer, something like that. And then the resume URL, is it something that was a mandatory thing? The resume URL, looking at the user, the candidate details. yeah, resume URL was an important thing. So maybe I would mark just or maybe I would just leave it as anything for now. This could be anything, but I'm just leaving it out as it is. Okay. So name, I would make it to be, let's say, Dev. Then the email ID would become, Dev 782, something like that. Password can be Dev1234, and that's all. I hope the application is running. Yes, it is. So I am going to create a new user. Hopefully, it should get created. Okay, all fields are required. What are we missing? Current sector, experience, qualification. Current sector, experience, qualification. Experience, qualification, brief intro, and resume URL. I think we have provided all the things. Name, email, role, password. Is there anything that we are missing out on the basic information? Name, email, password, and role. Name, role, and password. I think everything has already been provided. So maybe we'll have to put down some logs to find out where are we going wrong. Uh, okay. Here I'm just going to log only the important things, that is current sector, then the experience, then the qualification, then the brief intro, and then the resume URL, just to make sure that something is getting logged for these things. And yeah, the server has been restarted. We'll click on send. Okay, so looks like we are not even getting to that place. Just making sure that I have put that before it. Yes. So looks like we are failing here itself. Name, email, password, book. Or maybe I would say name, email, password, and role. It should have been restarted if I click on send again. And let me see. So name, email, password, and role have been provided, and it still says all fields are required. Not name, not email, not password, and not role. Oh, all right. So one thing that we are missing out on is that we forgot that the role this time has been changed. So we have to make sure that we choose the role to be candidate. Now, these are some silly mistakes that we all do while doing development. So no worries about that. And maybe we should be able to get rid of all the logs that we had created. So clicking on send, we can see that a new user has now been created. Now let me see in the users table, refresh it. A new user has been created, and so are the candidate details. So that's great. Now, what we would want to quickly do is, firstly, let us remove all the logs that we had put in. Uh, so this one first, and then this one. All right. Now, coming back to job application controller, the very first thing that I wish to do is apply to all the job postings that are created so far. So we have 3 job postings, and it only requires the job posting ID in the request body along with the token, of course. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this token. Okay, I need a new folder here, which is going to be for job application. And then here I wish to create a new request. Uh, first is going to be create application Then I may have get applications, and then I may have update application. Update application. So create application is going to be of type post, where it may have base, and what is the base route? Base route is going to be this application. So this is post. This is going to be get. I would keep on saving whatever I'm doing, and update is going to be put, whereas the URL is going to remain the same for. I'm going to get rid of all other tabs that exist here, and I'll make sure that the changes are saved. All right. Now let's come down to the job application controller and try to apply for all the job postings that exist. All it requires is the job posting ID in the body. Job posting ID, I would provide it, but before that, I have to make sure that I provided the required authorization header as well, so that it should be able to. Okay, I need to. Okay, fine. Now I will have to log in order to get the token for the candidate. Then later I will have to change these details to back to the recruiter, so that I should be able to update an application status. But anyways, we will do it. So I will get this, save this token, and go to create application, paste it here. Right, body, and now I have to provide the job application. So I would go to database and copy these job posting IDs one by one. I would apply to all. I'll click on send. Status of relation job applications. So the issue is job application requires the status, and by default we have not set any status here. So for now I would set the default status to be job application status dot pending. But again, in order to take effect, okay, I think it should automatically do that since we have marked synchronized true here. So let me go to job application, refresh it, go to structure, and status has now been created as pending. Yes, so this should work now. If I come, hit the send button, now the job application has now been created. Coming to the data, refresh it. Yes, it has been created indeed. I would make sure that I apply to each job posting. Okay, this is also done, and at last this one. Okay, so if I come back to database for the applications part, I should see 3 applications being created by the same candidate. Okay, this is fine. Now, looking at the applications that a candidate would want to view in his or her dashboard, I would make sure that I add the required authorization header, right? And the copy of it, I am going to copy from here, and I would save it as well. Paste it here, and I need to provide params as well, though if I don't provide, that is absolutely fine too. So if I say page number, the value is going to be 1. Then the page size, the value of it is going to be 10 initially, right? And I think that's all it needs. If I go to send, so yes, I am getting a total of 3 applications, 1, 2, 3. Whereas if I change the page size to 1 here, Then I am going to click on send. And yeah, this is done. Similarly, if I change the page number here, then I'm going to get a different application ID with ID 3. Last time it was 2. And similarly, if I change the page size to 2 here, then I should be getting 3 and 4. So 4, uh, okay, the page number was 2 here, and the page size itself was 2. So we were only able to get so many. Because each page requires 2 entries and we have a total of 3 entries. So the first page will have 2 entries and the second page will be left with just 1 entry. So that is why we are only getting 1 here. So this is how we would be able to retrieve the applications for the candidates dashboard. Now the last endpoint that we would want to test is going to be uh, this update status of an application. And this would require the application ID as well as the status. So I would go here. Firstly, I would like to make sure that it is saved. Update application. I would go to body. This is of code type. Application ID. I think it is kind of 234 or something. So I would make sure it is 2. And then the status. So status is going to be an enum. So I would get the values, the correct values from the enums. And firstly, let mark application to be accepted. But this time, remember, we need to get the the token of or of a recruiter, right? This time the token of a candidate would not work. So I need to see where I can get that token from. So maybe create job, I will already have that token. So I would get it from there. I would paste it here. And let's see if that works. So application ID is 2, status is accepted. If I click on send, it says true. Let's go to the database and see if the application is generally being updated. Status is showing up as pending for all. And now if you see, this has now been changed to accepted. Whereas if I try to change for 4, the status of rejected, status of rejected, and click on send here. So come back. Yeah. So this is also kind of updated the status. All right. So we have successfully implemented all these 3 application related controllers and we have tested them all. Now, one tiny thing that we might want to add in this application is, so far we have only added user authentication middleware. That means all we are checking is whether the correct token is provided. But what happens in case a candidate tries to access the endpoints or the controllers that are specifically being made for a recruiter and the vice versa? How do we make sure that only a specific role candidate should be able to call specific controllers or endpoints? In order to do that, what we can do is we can create a couple of more middlewares. One is candidate .ts, and another one could be, okay, firstly let me create candidate.ts. What I'm going to do is I am just going to copy this content from here and I'm going to paste it here. Okay, but I don't require these many things, JSON web token, etc., all these. And here I am going to say verify candidate role. I don't need to check for all of these things because I know all these things will be taken care of by the authentication middleware. All I would check here is if, maybe I would say request user and this. Now, if request user dot role is not equals to user role dot candidate, then in that case I am going to straight away reject this request saying that the correct role or you are not authorized to perform this operation, something of that sort. So I would say http status ports dot Forbidden, I am saying forbidden because you are not authorized. You are not authorized to perform this operation. Why is it okay? I forgot to add this new keyword here. And that's all I'm going to do here. No user repository is required. This is enums. The class is going to be candidate. I would just say candidate. And I make sure that I'm calling this next middleware. And that's all. I'll just copy this and I would create a new file. And this is going to be recruiter. And here I would may say verify recruiter role. And here we'll just make sure it is recruiter. Looks like there was a spelling mistake here. Candidate. Yep, it's fine. So this is okay. Now, what I need to do is I need to put these middlewares in the routers. So in user, we don't require any of those routers. We just have one test router here. Let us, leave it there. Now in job posting, let us have this, for job posting, we only require the, recruiter role. So I would get, am I, exporting the correct thing? Export class recruiter. Recruiter, and here I'm going to say private role equals to recruiter dot verify recruiter role, and just next to this dot auth, I'm going to say this dot role. The same thing I am going to do this dot role here. Right? I only need to check whether this is a recruiter role. So I have not imported the candidate middleware here. And let's make sure if it is working or not. So let's say this is something that was supposed to be done only by a recruiter. But what happens if we provide the token of a candidate here? So update application. Let me change the header to that of a candidate and click on send. It says you are not authorized to update this application. That's great. So it is working as expected. But it should not be returning the 400 status code. So I would make sure that it returns forbidden here. And yeah, it is returning forbidden. But here it is saying you are not authorized to update. Okay, it is saying you are not authorized to update this application. Simple reason for that is probably it is coming from the job application controller itself. Yeah, probably from here. Okay, looks like we have not done it in the job application controller yet. Firstly, we have to make sure that we do it in the job posting thing. So create job. Here I'm going to create it. So for a new job posting, I'm trying to add the token for candidate. And when I do that, it says you are not authorized to perform this operation. Now, this is the correct result. This was coming due to the previous error was coming due to something else. Now, if I come to job application router, this is the place where we require both. So import candidate as well as import recruiter. Here I would say private candidate role. This is equals to candidate dot verify candidate role, whereas here I'm going to say recruiter role, and here it is going to say recruiter dot verify recruiter role. And depending upon who should perform this operation, we can add the respective middleware. So like an application can only be created by a candidate. Similarly, this is also supposed to be utilized by a candidate only, whereas this is supposed to be utilized by a recruiter. So I would say recruiter role, and that's all. So we have made the validations in an application more concrete. Only a specific role of user will be able to perform the specific operation. So yeah, this marks the end of this job portal platform backend implementation, where we had worked with mainly three entities. The user router, which allows registrations and logins on this platform. Then we had the job posting section, where which is mainly concerned with the recruiters who would want to create job postings, who would want to view a list of job postings being created by them in the past. Then comes the last section, and an interesting one, which is the application one, where a candidate should be able to apply to a specific role, should be able to view all the applications the candidate has made in the past, and at the end, a recruiter should be able to mark an application with the relevant status, based on whatever actions they might want to take going forward. So that's all for today's lecture. From the next weeks of lectures, we shall be jumping into the front end implementation part, and hopefully you will be enjoying that too. So that's all for today, and thanks for watching.